It's now time to the researcher duo, Chiara Colombi, PhD in Design, Associate Professor at Politecnico di Milano, Design Department. She's getting here, please.
Perfetto, ok. Grazie. Mi ero portata il telefono. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be on time because actually some of the introductory slides that I prepare have been already widely discussed. Is it coming? So I'm just building on them from a higher education institution perspective. We have been discussing the knowledge triangle, which I like to contextualize not only in relation to the stakeholders that are directly involved, but also talking about values and meanings, the drivers that economies offer us in understanding how the different industries, and especially the fashion industry, is moving to, and of course the policies. So we have had a EU representative talking about this. The idea is that as a higher education institution, but in general, as companies or any educational institution, has also the role of influencing policies, understanding with a perspective that is much more fast forward the needs of the people, the community, and therefore directing in some ways the perspectives, the direction where the industry should move to allow people to have a better life. In particular for the fashion industry, talking about sustainability, this is very, very much important. There's an ethical goal that we should all pursue together. When I've been asked to speak in this conference and get in touch with transitions, of course, the reference that was in my mind is the twin transition, or triple transition, if we want. So my consideration that I'm going to share about what we do in higher education institutions such as Politecnico di Milano, where I come from, which is a teaching and research university in engineering, architecture, and design, where in design we graduate the 85% of students in design from Italy. So we are ranked first in Italy, third in Europe, and seventh in the world for this topic. Our perspective is to support in every field of design, and in particular in the fashion one, the concept of innovating education and the industry understanding of the fashion processes through digitalization, and of course toward a much more sustainable approach. We like, and this has been already discussed, consider also a third pillar, the people pillar. So talking about better triple transition, and therefore considering also the ability to be resilient and reacting to the fast forward situation we are living in. So we have seen how the different let's say tools or policies are influencing the fashion futures, and in particular for the textile ecosystem transition pathway, it's important to recognize the ability to understand and use new technologies. From the Pact for Skills in textile ecosystems, we highlight the ability to promote a lifelong learning education. So therefore, I'm here to speak about Politecnico di Milano as a higher education institution and its approach, but I want to share the fact that we are always moving toward a format or an idea where education is not divided in, let's say, tiers. So secondary education, higher education, but it's an activity that should accompany any citizen from its birth, if we want, until the end of the productive life, but in general for all their life. So that also becoming a professional becomes important to always get back to a situation, a context where you can update your skills, but also you can increase your understanding of contemporary drivers that can change your profession, but as well can allow you to change the profession if it's not already happening. And in relation to the 2030 objectives, of course, the focus is the dimension of offering qualitative education to everybody. So it's about accessibility and inclusivity, where we are working very much on the concept of decolonizing our educational tools and our educational approach, recognizing that there's for sure a different ability of students nowadays to learn, to understand, to participate interactively with educational programs and with faculty, teachers. But also there's the need of not continuing to colonize countries that do not have a European tradition or an American tradition or a Eastern tradition or from the global South, but we have to recognize which are the elements that are more relevant and more meaningful in each cultural content. Saying that, we understand, considering transition, fashion with a definition that does not want to scare you or does not look too much technical or focusing just on a particular segment of fashion, but we very much often now speak about fashion tech, where the suffix tech refer to an approach more than being just product based, so talking about smart textiles or the inclusion of technologies, art technologies such as sensors and so on. We refer to a process based approach, where we want to focus on the improvement and education that supports the understanding on how digitalization of processes can impact positively on a different kind of industry, where we can renovate, innovate, or re-engineer existing products or develop new products, improve the efficiencies, but also the abilities to produce innovation through existing processes or new processes empowered by digital technologies, and also a focus on business models. Therefore, here you see a list of consideration. I don't want to go through each bullet point, just giving you a general comment on them, and I guess then the slides will be available to everybody. What we have understood also through another European project that we have been working on a few years ago, and now it's continuing also thanks to the National Resilience and Recovery Plan that we are engaged in with different projects. We understood that, for example, the dimension and relationship between business to consumer and business to business activities, it's very much important. So also for a university, a higher education institution, it's important to tackle these two dimensions and not just focus on a traditional understanding of the market and the supply chain. There are different customer experiences that are needed. So we are not just understanding the necessity of having a traditional relationship with a customer that is just buying a fashion item or a fashion service, and of course understanding which are the potentialities of digitalization and the concept of sustainability business for generating new revenue streams. This pushes us in asking for transformation or supporting transformations or transitions. They are very much needed, and that focus on the ability of collaborate with with different fields, with different knowledge fields. So pushing very much the interdisciplinarity of our education, understanding which are the new roles that are needed beyond a traditional or, let's say, general definition of designer or fashion designer, and as well being able to act specifically in different parts of the supply chain. We have conducted a research on emerging job roles, and here we can see that there are skills, design skills that comes from other fields like UX, and as well the ability of managing that will translate in what is for us this kind of educational model, which has definitely a relationship with what Transition has shared as well, but its focus expressively in a flexibility where the collaboration with industry that it's entering in the role of faculty, but also in the learner into our model is one key, which is my final message. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the last researcher duo presenter, Svenja Köhner, a postdoctoral researcher at the Swedish School of Textiles at University of Borås. Please.
Thank you so much. I hope you have some energy left for the last 10 minutes. As was said before, my name is Svenja Köhner. I'm an artistic researcher from the Swedish School of Textiles, University of Borås, and now the slide disappeared. Part of the presentation today will be more than human perspectives to design, especially to textile design. And since the slides, like with the images and videos, are quite fundamental for my talk, maybe we can just relax a little and take a breath and move around. Okay, here we go. So the next slide, hopefully. Yes, so I will talk about more than human perspectives to textile design, and I spent the last more than 10 years to really exploring this path. I have a textile design-based education from Hamburg in Germany, and then have done my PhD also together with Marina and Troy during the Architects ETN European Network Training. And since then, actually Chiara was my opponent for the PhD, so it's a very funny coincidence to speak after her today. I basically walk you through a couple of projects that I have done since my PhD. One of them was the project Designing and Living with Organisms, which was funded by the Swedish Research Council. It's actually quite amazing that Sweden has like a specific funding program for artistic research. I think that's quite unique. So I feel for the moment quite comfortable in Scandinavia because I wouldn't know like how to get funding for my quite experimental projects otherwise. If you have another idea, please let me know. And during my like my research is also very personal, so it's not only I really take it personal and yeah, experiment with my life and everyday life as well. So during my PhD, I bought a tiny house on wheels, moved it to the countryside in Sweden in order to live together with my textile plant experiments. And then continued with my postdoc to explore like what are the potential relationships between textiles and insects. So now we are moving on to insects. Yes, and since there's not so much time, I will go like rather quickly through all the projects. But if you have like any questions, yeah, just let me know. There's also all kinds of information available in forms of articles and yeah, like yeah, pictures and documentation on my website. What I would like to explain a little is that so yeah, I really try to expand like what we think of textiles and like how textiles matter in like many different other fields. And one of my approaches is to diversify, like to not focus on just one material or one technique, but to really diversify. Because, like for example, this is an installation where I wanted insects to. Okay, so it seems like the videos are not playing. But anyway, so there were videos that I wanted to show, but seems that they are gone now. But yeah, I made this textile-based installation. Basically installed those sculptures in front of my house, and then basically waited and observed over a couple of years, like what would happen. So here you see a parasitic wasp interacting with one of the clay-based like shapes. So I work with with clay, porcelain, textiles, and all kinds of other materials, mostly with crochet when it comes to those three-dimensional textiles, but also with 3D printing. And yeah, it's a lot of observation, very much patience needed. Yeah, for example, this object to the right. Yes, there's the video. I waited for 3 years that something was going to happen, and then one summer a community of wasps moved in, which was then like really interesting to observe, like how they gradually built their their home in this woolen sculpture, and then afterwards, when they moved out, a mouse moved in and ate the nest. Yeah, it's like nothing lasts. Everything is nurturing for someone else. I'm organizing insect summer camps since 2022 because in the area where I'm working, sometimes I feel quite alien and alone with my approach, and then it's really important to gather like-minded people around me. So we are organizing these camps now for 3 years, quite successfully. Always co-created, so like there's a general theme, but everyone who is coming has a say and is also like facilitating things. Everything is basically co-created. And since the last year's insect summer camp, we became quite interested in insect vibration communication, which is called biotremology. Biotremology is more like the animal vibration communication, but we work with insects. And I'm already 2 minutes over time, so I will switch a little bit like through this project. This one is called Holding Surplus House and is also funded by it's Formas, also like a Swedish funding, for a 4 years project in which we built a tiny house on wheels that we move around to engage with different communities, and that we use as a platform to engage citizens and set up interventions that allow people to physically engage with a shared imagination, or like with seasons and what resources in households can actually mean. So we were growing some grass inside the house as a spring intervention to grow a window blind for the house, and then also to explore like the barley grass as a resource. We actually drank the grass, or like served frozen barley grass cubes at the Southern Sweden Design Week to our audience. In order to really explore, what can textiles do? How can we grow own materials? What is it like to grow a curtain on the floor in the tiny house? A dog visitor also enjoyed it quite a lot. Our winter intervention 2 or 3 weeks ago was about living with heated uncertainties. So a comment on climate change and like an installation to visualize, not only visualize, but really to make kind of experienceable, like what a couple of degrees difference can actually make, like for our ways of living. So we flooded the tiny house on wheels with 2 centimeters of water. And if it would be colder temperatures, we would be able to ice skate on the floor around the table in the tiny house. But it was not cold enough in southern Sweden, so we had to live with a puddle. And that, of course, makes quite a difference if the floor is frozen, or if it's a puddle. So if you want to follow this project, you can do so via Instagram. And the Swedish Research Council has just granted us with another funding for a 3-year project where we will work with an indigenous community in the rainforest in Ecuador. They are called the people of Sarayaku. And we will bring them together with the Insect Summer Camp to explore, like, how can we co-create artistic work that are related to the more than human, and also kind of work with how can art and craft communicate across language boundaries. Do you have energy for 3 more minutes, or should I stop here? Okay. Because I have lots of other projects also available. So if you want to speak with me about them, then let me know. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.